Okay, in this section we're going to talk about Chapter 5 and we're going to discuss Section 4, which is conversions between U.S. Customary and metric systems. So we're going to convert units between the U.S. customary and metric systems. And because the metric units are the only international units, all U.S. customary units are defined in terms of the metric system. We can use the following table for metric U.S. customary length conversions. So we've got our inches to centimeters, feet to centimeters, and so on and so forth. So the very first thing says to convert 4.3 yards to meters. So if we start out with 4.3 yards and we want to convert that to meters, we can use this up here that we know that 1 yard is equal to 0.9144 meters. Again, I'm putting the yards on the bottom so that they will cancel out and that my units will be in meters. That's going to give me 3.93192. And because our least precise units would be in the tenths place, so this would be 3.9 meters if we rounded. When we convert 2.50 inches to millimeters, we don't have an inches to millimeters conversion. We do have an inches to centimeters conversion. And then we know that there are 1,000 millimeters in a meter. So and there are 10 millimeters in a centimeter. So we should be able to do this. So 2.54 centimeters in an inch. So 1 inch has 2.54 centimeters. And then 1 centimeter has 10 millimeters. So my centimeters are going to cancel out. My inches are going to cancel out. And I'm going to have 2.50 times 2.54 times 10, and that's going to get me 63.5 millimeters. Some companies involved in international trade use dual dimensioning on their technical drawings and specifications. With dual dimensioning, both inch and metric dimensions are given. For example, a part might be labeled like this, and you can see it's got 25.4 millimeters and it also has 1 inch. We also have our 83 plus or minus 1 millimeter, or 3.27 plus or minus 0.04 inches. Notice that the metric unit is written on the top. To convert units of weight between the metric system and the U.S. customary system, we use the conversion factors in the table. And we've got several conversions there: ounces to gram, pounds to kilograms. We've even got tons to kilograms and to metric tons. Be careful because the abbreviation for tons, T, is the same as the abbreviation for tablespoon, and the abbreviation for metric ton, T, is the same as the abbreviation for teaspoon. So if you're, whenever it's not clear if you're working with weight or liquid capacity, always spell out the desired unit. So we want to convert 75 grams to ounces. So we're starting out with 75 grams. We want our answer to be in ounces, and they gave us our conversion right here. So we would want to put grams on the bottom, correct, so that they would cancel out. So 28.35 grams are in 1 ounce. Okay, so on this one, the grams cancel out. We would need to take our 75 and divide it by 28.35. And that's going to get us 2.6455, and it keeps going. If we rounded it to our least significant digit, we would round it to the ones place, so we would say 7 ounces. Convert 1.40 tons to kilograms. So we're starting out with 1.40 tons, and we want to convert that to kilograms. Well, if you look up here, we've got that 1 ton is equal to 907.2 kilograms. So my tons are going to cancel out. I'm going to have 1.40 times 907.2, and we're going to get 1,270.08. To convert 0.07 pounds to grams, we want our answer to be in grams. Okay, let's see what we can find about pounds and grams. 1 pound is 0.4536 kilograms. 1 pound is 0.4536 kilograms. And our pounds canceled out, it's great, but we need our kilograms to cancel out. And I know that there is 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram, so that's going to get my kilograms to cancel out. So I'm going to multiply 0.075 times 0.4536 times 1,000, and I'm going to get 34.02 grams, which would be fine because, well, actually this, I think it's in the calculation though, so 34.02, our least significant digit in the calculation is going to be in our problem is going to be the thousandths place. We don't count the 1,000. When we talk about area, we always talk about how we have, we're talking about a two-dimensional object that has length times width. So we want to convert 15 square feet to square meters. So I'm starting out with 15 feet squared. If you look up here, it says 1 square foot is 0.029 square meters. So 1 foot squared is 0.0929 meters squared. Feet squared is going to cancel out. So we would have 15 times 0.0929. Okay. Here we would want to round to the ones place, so we would just keep that. If we were going to round, we would round it to 1 meter squared because that would be our least significant digit. To convert 5.80 hectares to acres, okay, 1 acre is equal to, so 1 acre is equal to 0.405 hectares. I'm going to use their abbreviation that they're using. So these would cancel out. So it would end up doing 5.80 divided by 0.405. That's going to get me 14.32, and then that's going to be in acres. Okay, so we would round, since this is the hundredths place, we could keep both of those. It's 14.320, so 14.32 acres. So when we talk about volume, how much it's going to be to fill something up in liquid capacity conversions, we've got a lot of units here, conversions that we can look at. But it says the first problem is to convert 5.5 gallons to liters. It says that 1 gallon is, so 1 gallon is 3.785 liters. Okay, so the gallons cancel out. We would get the liters. It looks like we would have to round up 1 decimal place, so 20.8 liters if we're going to round to our significant digits. We've got 125 milliliters, and they want us to convert that to fluid ounces, so we would do 29.574 milliliters in 1 fluid ounce. So the milliliters would cancel out. We would need to do 125 divided by 29.574. That's going to get me 4.226. I'm going to keep going from there. And the next number is a 6. So 4 point. And if we're going to round to significant digits, we would have to round to the ones place. But remember that this is thousandths right here in milliliters, and it's in the thousandths place. We actually could carry it to the third. So 4.227 ounces. Talk about speed. We're talking about usually miles per hour, but when we're in the metric system, it's going to be meters, not miles, right? But our time unit should be the same. So it says to convert 2.4 feet per second to meters per second, or meters per minute. Okay, let's start with our seconds. I can get seconds to minutes by saying there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So that took care of that. Now I need to get my feet to meters. So how many feet are in 1 meter? To go back up here and look at my tables. 1 foot, that's square meters, sorry. Let's go on up. There we go. 1 foot is 30.48 centimeters. 1 foot is 30.48 centimeters. That should get me there. So this is centimeters. So 1 foot is 30.48 centimeters, and there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Okay, so I'm going to need to do 2.4 times 60 times 30.48. That's getting me 4,389.12, and we want to divide that by 100, and that's going to be 43.8912. We probably only want to keep the 1 decimal place, so 43.9 meters per minute. To convert 285 kilometers per hour, note that the time units are the same, so we need only to convert the distance. We're trying to go to miles per hour, so I don't have to change the hour part at all because I'm working in hours. So it gives me 1 mile is 1.6093 kilometers is 1 mile. So these are going to cancel out. We're going to end up having 285 divided by 1.6093. And that is 177.095, and it keeps going. Actually, the next number would be a 6, but we want to round in this case to the nearest mile, so 177 miles per hour. So the Fahrenheit temperature scale is commonly used in the United States for the weather reports, cooking, and other practical work. On the scale, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit and freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The metric or Celsius temperature scale is a simpler scale, originally designed for scientific work, but now used worldwide for most temperature measurements. On the Celsius scale, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius and freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. So we've got our temperature scale here. So on this chart, equal temperatures are placed side by side. To convert 50 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to look at the Fahrenheit and go directly over and get 10 degrees Celsius. To convert 125 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit, we're going to locate 125 degrees Celsius in the Celsius column. And so let's go here. We've got Celsius 125. It looks like we're right in here. And the Celsius mark does not coincide exactly with one of the Fahrenheit divisions, but it's closest to the second mark above 250. Because there are 5 divisions between 250 and 275, each division represents 5 degrees. So we would say the second mark on an additional adds an additional 10 degrees. So 125 was closest to the 250, but we're going to add 2 marks, which is 5 degrees apiece. So we would be up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're at 250, so 255, 260. So it's 2 extra little marks. Okay. The size of an automobile tire is given as P205/55R16. The first number indicates the width of the tire from the wall to the sidewalk. It is 205 millimeters. The second number, called the aspect ratio, indicates that the height, h, of the sidewall is 55% of the width. The third number indicates that the tire is designed to be mounted on a wheel with a 16-inch diameter. In order to find the overall diameter of the mounted tires in inches, follow this step. So we're looking for the diameter of the entire tire. So, and we want it to be in inches. So to find the height, it says that we got to deal with this second number called the aspect ratio to get the heights, because we're going to have to do 16 inches plus both heights to get that. And it says the height of the sidewall is 55% of the width, and the width was the 205 millimeters. So we need to do 205 times 55%. Okay, so we've got 205 times 0.55. That's getting me 112.75 millimeters, and that's the H part of this. And we know that they want this in inches. So we've got 2 of those. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. So 112.75 times 2 is 225.5 millimeters. So the first thing we want to do is we want to convert millimeters to inches. So let's see what we've got in the way of conversions from millimeters and inches. We've got centimeters and inches. So 2.5 centimeters is in 1 inch. So 2.54, and we want the I think we're going to want the inches on the top because we want our answer to be in inches. Let me pull the problem up a little bit better here. Okay, and I also know that I need to get rid of millimeters and not centimeters. So there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. I still haven't done it. That got rid of the centimeters. There are 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter, so I need that reversed so I can get my millimeters to cancel out. So I want to put the 1,000 millimeters here on the bottom in 1 meter. Now I can get my millimeters to cancel out. I can get my meters to cancel out, and I'm left with this 1 inch. So I want to do our inches. So I want to do 225.5 times 100 on the top. So we've got 22,550 divided by 2.54, which is 2 times 1,000, which is 2,540. And we want to divide those two. 22,550 divided by 2,540, 8.87795, and it just keeps going. So let's, since we were dealing in units that had millimeters, I could round to the thousandths place. I'm gonna say we're gonna round to 8.876, and that's the height. Okay, and actually that's both of the heights together because we already multiplied by the 2. So we need to add that. So that's in inches. We need to add the 16 inches to that for a total of 24.876 inches. Suppose a patient was given 30 milliliters of liquid medication twice a day when he was in the hospital. If it continues this dosage at home, how many tablespoons per day will the patient need to take? So we're doing 30 milliliters, and let's go ahead and just convert, because that's what he needs to take twice a day. So 30 milliliters, and we need it to be how many tablespoons? Okay, so we have 1 tablespoon is 15 milliliters. So 15 milliliters is 1 tablespoon. Those are going to cancel. And that's 30 divided by 15 is going to be 2 tablespoons, but this needs to happen twice a day. So in one day, he needs to have 4 tablespoons altogether. For those who work with metals, building materials, and other substances, the concept of density is useful. Density is defined as the amount of mass per unit of volume of a material. The density of steel is 7,850 kilograms per cubic meter. So we're comparing kilograms per cubic meter. In the U.S. customary system, we would usually express this in pounds per cubic foot. So if we want to take 7,850 kilograms per meter cubed, we want to change it into pounds per cubic foot. Okay. I'm going to go down here and see if I've got any 1 cubic foot. We've got our area. We've got yards, cubic yards down here, but we don't have cubic feet in meters. So let's do that. We know that 1 cubic yard is 0.765 meters cubed, so 1 yard cubed. I know that 9 feet cubed is equal to 1. We need to switch that because we want to get rid of the yard squared, so we want 1 yard cubed is equal to 9 feet cubed. Okay, so now I've got my feet cubed on the bottom, my cubic feet on the bottom. Now I need to get my kilograms to pounds. So 1 pound is 0.4536 kilogram is equal to 1 pound. That's going to get my kilograms to cancel out. So on the top, we're going to need to do 7,850 times 0.765. Then we're going to need to divide by 9 times 0.4536 altogether, and that's getting me 1,471.0097. Now keep in mind that we would probably round to the ones place, so 1,471 pounds per feet cubed. Okay, so that's the end of section 4. We have one more section in chapter 5.